Shrivadesh Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhagavadinestaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 11, chapter 1, verse number 13 to 15. Vedantastan upavarjya kumara yadunandana upasangrihya paprachur avinita vinitavat te vashayitva strivese sambanjambavati sutam esha prachati vo vipra antarvatani ashitekshana prastum vilajit shakshat prabhut amoga darshanaha rashoshyanti putra kama kim svit sanjayana ishyati. Translation by disciples of Sri Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To that holy place, the young boys of the Yadu dynasty brought Samba, son of Jambavati, dressed in women's garb, playfully approaching the great sages gathered there. The boys grabbed hold of the sages' feet and impudently asked them with feigned humility, "O learned Brahmanas, this black-eyed pregnant woman had something to ask you. She is too embarrassed to inquire for herself. She is just about to give birth and is very desirous of having a son. Since all of you are great sages with infallible vision, please tell us whether her child will be a boy or girl." So in that holy place where Brahmanas, the great sages, headed by Narada Muni, were performing so many different types of yajnas to please the Yajnadipati, Lord Vishnu, the Yadu dynasty, the boys of the Yadu dynasty brought Samba, the son of Jambavati, and they dressed Samba in a women's garb, and they approached the great sages gathered there. So the boys grabbed the lotus feet of the sages and impudently asked them with feigned humble Vinita and Avinita. So that was not a real humbleness, but we can say just by they were pretending to be humble. So they are pretending to be humble. So their character or their behavior was not humble. So just they were pretending to be humble. So they brought the Samba, who is by dressing in a women's garb, like a Garbhavati, like a pregnant woman, and they were asking the Brahmanas, she is hesitant to approach you, she is getting a little bit shy, so she is embarrassed to inquire from you, that is why. So please tell me, O great sages, that whether this particular woman wants to have a child, so she wants to know whether she is a boy or girl. So that is all about this verse. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is commenting on this, the impudent behavior of the boys of the Yadu dynasty towards the sages, who are all Brahmanas and devotees of the Lord, was a display of deviation from the path of Lord Krishna. So here Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami commenting that because of this impudent behavior of boys of the Yadu dynasty, so that leads to the deviation from the devotion service of Krishna. All these things, it is an obstacle to the Krishna consciousness or to devotion service, or it is detrimental to render devotion service to Krishna. So when the great devotees or Brahmanas are offended, then our devotion service we will never progress in our devotion service. So we keep on mocking sages, we keep on mocking devotees, we keep on mocking the um, eternal associates of Krishna. Then there will be then there is a deviation from the Krishna devotion service. So furthermore, we cannot practice Krishna consciousness very seriously. So we will cultivate the habit of mocking or making fun of the other devotees, especially the associates of Krishna. So because they were trying to ridicule the Vaishnavas and the Brahmanas, so they have become they have gone far away from Krishna's mercy or far away from Krishna's vision, and it will become a great offense the devotees of the Lord. So another example also, another pastimes also we can see from Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is a section called there is a section offense by Sachimata, the mother of Lord Gauranga Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When she offended the great Acharya Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught a very good lesson to her own mother, so that we can now consider or understand the magnanimity of the Supreme Lord. So when Advaita Acharya was offended, she told she offended Advaita Acharya, saying that now my first son Viswamara also got renunciated. He also went away from my vision. Now you want to send Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also you want me to separate from my second son Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. So like that she offended. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know this, she never spoke to her mother Sachidevi, but he so many devotees approached the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and accepted the benedictions and they got the gifts also, but he never spoke to Chaitanya, his own mother. Then the Nityananda Prabhu and other associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and approached him, told Mahaprabhu that why you are not speaking to your mother, why you are not having any kind relationship with your mother. Then the Mahaprabhu told, see, when my devotee or when my close associate is offended, it is a great insult to me. So she should go and take the take the apology from my associate Advaita Acharya. Then only I can have a very good relation, a very good mother, a very good parental relationship with my mother, or I can behave as a good son to my mother. So Lord Krishna's pastime destroying the Hindu dynasty is also a demonstration of his mercy to his devotees. So believing the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas and Rishis to be foolishly lacking knowledge in material affairs, substance cultivation, the Yadukumaras dresses Samba, the son of Jambavati, as a woman and tried to know. So Lord Krishna wanted to teach. So from this we can understand that Lord Krishna wants to teach a lesson for the boys or for the people who have offended the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. So for them it is a great lesson. So after that, you can, as you know, there will be a destruction of the whole Yadu dynasty. So in modern times, such his behavior has also manifested itself within the Gaudiya Vaishnava community. Unauthorized persons have initiated the process of deceitfully bestowing women's dress on their followers. This process is to be counted as a variety of aparadha or offense against Krishna. Such an attempt to cheapen and ridicule devotion service to Krishna is certainly caused by envy towards the real Vaishnavas who are faithfully engaged in devotion service according to the rules and regulations of the Vedic literatures. So even in the modern world also, so many things are happening like this, like boys dressing like women and women dressing like boys, especially women dressing like boys and changing their behavior. And also by dressing like this, when the devotees go for book distribution or preaching, they ridicule them, they mock at them, and they make fun of them. All these things are happening in Kali Yuga, in this modern world. So when those things happen, Krishna will really become very angry, and they have to face the consequences. People who have offended the devotees, who have dedicated their whole life to propagate the holy names of the Lord or glories of the Lord to others. So Shruti Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shruti Smriti Pancharatrika Vidhi, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina, Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir, Utpata Iva Kalpate. If one wants to demonstrate his great devotion to the Supreme Lord, but his process of devotion service violates the standard rules of previous scriptures such as Shruti, Smriti, Puranas and Narada Pancharatrika, then his alleged love of Godhead will simply disturb society by misleading people from the auspicious path of advancement. So here it is said that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Srila Rupa Goswami says that if one wants to do great devotion to the Supreme Lord, but his process of devotion service is against the rules and Smriti and Sriti and Narada Puranas, then that will be a misguidance to the whole society. That's what he is trying to say. So the talking of a woman's clothing by a man in Krishna's Leela was intended to point out this fact. Such an act amounts to cheating and ridicule of the devotees of Krishna. Samba is a personal associate of the Lord, but acting as a harbinger of the future misfortune to be created in Kali Yuga by bogus followers of Sri Chaitanya Prabhu. Samba displayed his didactic pastime to help the living entist be blessed on the correct path of devotion service. So by studying this verse or reading this Srimad Bhagavatam, we can understand that we should never make a fun of the other Vaishnavas and other devotees, or we should never dress like a woman. A man should not dress like a woman. A man should have his own clothes, his own particular clothes, and the women also should have their own clothes. So clothes are meant to be cover the body. So that is the only intention of this. That is Vedic. So this is a great offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. So when they brought Samba and approached Narada Muni and other great sages, whether you can tell that this particular lady will have son or a daughter, then the Vaishnavas, they anticipated the fraudulent sampradayas. So by Divya Drishti, by the divine vision, they were able to make out they are doing some fraudulent activities and they are not from proper sampradayas. Then the modern age, the practice of Saki Beka or dressing men as female associates of gopis. So even now, so many men, they are dressing like gopis and they are acting like gopis. All these things are a great offense, or it is apasampradaya. It is considered to be apasampradaya. So many false yogis imagine they are disturbing first class devotion on the liberation ground. So because of this, the devotees who are doing first class devotion service, that will be a great disturbance for them. So it will be a hindrance for them. So this imitation, it is a very great disturbance to the whole society. So one should not imitate the great acharyas or great followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And instead of that, they have to follow the footsteps of the great acharyas or great mahajans. So nobody should imitate like somebody is in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's period also some people, some devotees, they want to imitate like Chaitanya Haridas Thakur chanting 64 rounds like that. It's not at all possible. It's impossible. Only elevated devotees or dedicated, exalted devotees, they can only perform all these devotional activities. ordinary persons like us and all, we cannot follow we should not imitate. First of all, we can follow the footsteps of acharyas, how much ever is possible, but we should not imitate them. So because they are very close associates of Lord Krishna. So Krishna wants to facilitate the instructive pastimes of the Lord. They acted in apparently unethical ways. So finally Krishna, Jiva Goswami have confirmed that the lack of humility shown by his sons of Vidura was an arrangement of the Lord himself. So it was only an arrangement of the Lord himself. Lord only arranged all these things, but also at the same time simultaneously he wants to teach us a lesson that offense at the lotus feet of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are associates of the Lord will have a greater impact, like the destruction of the whole dynasty. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.